A community came together this evening to pray for a teen that was critically injured in a crash.
A man is arrested in Tennessee, and deputies there believe he is responsible for burglarizing several veterinary clinics here in Lexington.
More filings today in the legal battle over marriage licenses in Rowan County, why the ACLU says Kim Davis isn't complying with court orders.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening. Thanks so much for being here with us. People gather tonight to use the power of prayer to help heal an injured teenager.
16-year-old Aaron Williams suffered critical injuries after his car crashed on the way to the homecoming dance in Bath County on Saturday night. Dozens prayed with his parents outside UK Hospital where he's being treated. Other people gathered outside the First Church of God in Winchester to pray. Our Sam Smith shows us the vigil in our top story at 11.
Chris and Veronica Williams are by their son's side right now. Aaron was in a crash over the weekend and is fighting for his life. His father, Chris, is a pastor here in Clark County.
You know, it could be any one of us that's in his position right now.
The prayer vigil tonight is made up of pastors from around the area and members of the community that wanted to show their support through prayer.
I believe God's going to answer prayer.
Aaron was on his way to a homecoming dance Saturday. He lost control of his car and crashed. Another driver witnessed the wreck and pulled Aaron from the burning car. That man told me he was just in the right place at the right time. Aaron's family says he suffered serious head trauma in the crash. Through this prayer vigil, the people here hope they can help the family during this tough time.
Brother Chris, just like the Bible says, we're family, and Chris loves his family, and his son, he loves him dearly.
In Clark County, Sam Smith, WKYT.
And there was also a candlelight vigil at Epperson First Church of God in Clark County.
Tonight, a man accused of stealing $700,000 in pet medications is in jail. The Knox County, Tennessee Sheriff's Department says Timothy Ross stole the items from 36 veterinary clinics in 3 states. 5 of those clinics were in central Kentucky, including Skipworth's Veterinary Clinic in Richmond. WKYT's Monique Blair talked to employees who say the arrest is a relief.
It was shocking and really distressing.
In early June, thieves broke into Skipworth's Veterinary Clinic.
They came in and basically stole every prescription medication that we had. They totally cleaned us out.
This is surveillance footage from early September when thieves attempted to break into Skipworth's a second time.
Our video footage of both of those pretty much confirmed to us that it was the same people.
On Saturday, 42-year-old Timothy Gayton Ross was arrested in Knox County, Tennessee. When he was arrested, deputies found $24,000 worth of pet medications in his car. Deputies believe Ross is responsible for burglarizing at least 5 clinics in central Kentucky. Now, today I spoke with several employees who work at these animal clinics, and they tell me that they are relieved that police believe they have arrested at least one of the people connected to these burglaries across 3 states.
Makes you kind of on edge. You know, we're hesitant to come up here alone at night or to do anything.
Veterinarian Frank Skipworth says it's likely Ross was trying to illegally sell the merchandise he was stealing.
Whenever you buy those products and you don't know where they're coming from, that it's most likely a stolen product that could have been tampered with, could have been altered in some way.
The Tennessee District Attorney's Office is expected to take this case to the grand jury. In Lexington, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Charges are pending against another suspect who was already in custody on other charges. The ACLU claims Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis still isn't following court orders. The group filed a motion today that argues the way she altered marriage licenses after her release from jail doesn't comply with court orders. The ACLU wants the office to issue the same licenses it gave out before Davis was released. 4 of her 6 deputies reported to a federal judge. No eligible couples have been denied marriage licenses. They did turn away a man who said he wanted to marry Jesus because both parties were not present.
Police are searching for an escaped inmate. The Bell County jailer says 38-year-old Jason Carbone escaped tonight. He was last seen in Pineville in his orange jail jumpsuit. The Bell County jailer doesn't think Carbone will be on the run for long.
He's been spotted in the Middlesboro area, and authorities are closing in on the escapee, and I feel confident that he will be captured shortly.
Carbone has been in jail since Friday for vandalism and burglary. We're told he has violent tendencies and is wanted in 3 states. We're learning more tonight about a woman who drowned in a Laurel County pond. 75-year-old Betty Seiler was found in the water off Boggs Lane near London this morning. Investigators believe she walked to the water's edge and accidentally fell in. She was a nurse and an active member of Corinth Baptist Church. The pastor has known her for 30 years and says she'll be missed.
Great person. She really involved in the life of the church, and she and her husband served sacrificially here.
Funeral arrangements for Seiler have not yet been made.
We are tracking the search for a truck wanted in connection to a deadly hit and run. Berea police say someone driving a red pickup hit and killed 71-year-old Billy Croucher late Friday night. The crash happened at the corner of Prospect and Forest Streets. Croucher's son hopes the driver will come forward.
I just wish somebody would have done something instead of just letting him lay there, you know, like a dog or something on the side of the road. But, you know, there's cruel people in the world.
Police say the red pickup they're looking for has rust spots and damage on the front driver's side. Deputies have arrested a man on a kidnapping charge. The Whitley County Sheriff's Office says they obtained a warrant for Jonathan Coffey earlier this month after witnessing a woman escaping from his pickup at an intersection. Deputies chased him, but he got away. They served the warrant yesterday and arrested Coffey. He's also charged with fleeing and evading, reckless driving, and traffic violations.
Members of the community had a chance tonight to voice their opinion about a pair of controversial statues. Lexington city leaders heard from people for and against removing statues of John Hunt Morgan and John C. Breckinridge. Both men were Civil War officers. They're also considering what to do with a marker detailing the history of the city's slave trade.
We propose to leave and conserve Lexington's historic monuments. However, we also propose to include public art that elevates the status of those who have had a lesser voice throughout history.
Is it advocating? My view is it's advocating a particular view, not telling a historical reality. So I would strongly disagree with the so-called historical perspective or argument that's been made that we're erasing history. We're not.
No decision was made tonight. It's going to be hard to complain about the weather this week, really.
That it is. We have some nice temperatures in the forecast as we welcome fall. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey shows us what's ahead for us. How about it, Chris?
Yeah, more of the good stuff, guys, in the coming days. So if you like today, if you liked your Sunday, chances are you're going to really enjoy the next several days. Overall, the weather across Kentucky fairly quiet, but I'll tell you, the pattern across the eastern half of the country is getting very active as of now. Big area of high pressure across New England, a couple of low pressures trying to develop here across sections of the southeast. Those two in tandem will eventually try to send the weather in reverse late this week into the weekend. By that, I mean we got to watch the eastern skyline for the possibility for some of those raindrops that are now into the Carolinas and out in the Atlantic to try to come back to the west as we get closer to the weekend. Between now and then, though, a lot of nice weather. A little bit of cloud cover into far southeastern Kentucky. We've had those clouds pretty much on and off for the better part of the day. Where skies have cleared, though, look at the numbers. Already low and mid-50s. Mount Sterling, 54 degrees under clear skies. Out the door on your Tuesday. It's a chilly morning. Thermometers upper 40s to low 50s. Another great day, 71 for your lunchtime by the time we're heading back home. Tomorrow's temperatures into the mid-70s, warmer to the north and a little cooler the farther south that we go. And I come back in just a few minutes, guys. We've got a brand new hour by hour to show you. And I will also show you why the weather is going to try to go from east to west as we get closer to the weekend.
All right, we'll see you in just a minute, Chris. Thank you. House Speaker Greg Stumbo wants lawmakers to help keep state police safer. Stumbo is proposing retrofitting cruisers with a bullet-resistant laminate film. It comes a week after Trooper Joseph Cameron Ponder died when a driver fired shots into his cruiser. Stumbo says the film might have changed the outcome in Trooper Ponder's case. A lawyer disbarred in Kentucky is suing 5 former clients. Stanley Chesley and 3 others were ordered to pay their clients $42 million. The judgment settled their claims. Chesley took excessive fees from a $200 million settlement involving the diet drug fen-phen. Chesley filed his lawsuit to keep them from collecting the money. Their lawyer has asked to have the suit dismissed.
Drivers have a new way to get around Lexington's north side. A new portion of Citation connecting Georgetown Road to Leestown Road opened this afternoon. It's about 2 miles long. People who live in the area say it will make it quicker and easier to navigate the interstate.
The roads in this area are pretty small. Some of the back roads, like the roads that I travel on to get to my home from Leestown Road, are pretty narrow and difficult to navigate, kind of dangerous in a couple of spots. You know, now it's a 4-lane corridor, and will be much better, much faster, and much more organized, I hope, than what we've had to travel on in the past.
The Citation project cost $25 million. The bulk of the money came from the state, but the city also shared in some of that cost.
A second Republican presidential candidate has dropped out of the race.
Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker joined Rick Perry, who ended his campaign last week. Craig Boswell shows us why Walker says other candidates need to drop out too.
Governor Scott Walker is dropping out of the presidential race before the first vote is even cast.
I will suspend my campaign immediately.
Walker says the race has turned too negative.
I believe that I'm being called to lead by helping to clear the field in this race so that a positive conservative message can rise to the top of the field.
Without mentioning his name, Walker hinted that Donald Trump is the problem, and he encouraged other candidates in the race to drop out as well.
So that the voters can focus on a limited number of candidates who can offer a positive, conservative alternative to the current frontrunner.
Walker was once leading the field in Iowa and scored high in the polls nationally, but he wilted over the summer as he had trouble connecting with voters. The latest national poll showed Walker with an asterisk by his name, meaning he had close to 0% support.
As a candidate, he was lackluster. On the stump, he didn't have a lot of enthusiasm. He just is sort of bland, I think, in a lot of ways.
Walker's suspension leaves 15 candidates battling it out for the GOP nomination. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Washington.
And before the official announcement, Donald Trump tweeted that he got to know Scott Walker during the campaign, that he's a nice person and has a great future. Pope Francis arriving in the U.S. tomorrow afternoon. President and Mrs. Obama will greet him when he lands at Andrews Air Force Base. Today, he spent a full day in Cuba, spreading a message centered around personal transformation. The Pope will spend time in Washington, D.C. and address Congress on Thursday before visiting New York and then Philadelphia.
It is the most severe punishment ever for a producer in foodborne illness cases. Former Peanut Corporation of America owner Stuart Parnell received 28 years in prison for his role in a deadly salmonella outbreak. He was sentenced for knowingly shipping contaminated peanut butter and faking lab test results. His brother received 20 years, while a former quality control manager received 5. The outbreak in 2008 and 2009 killed 9 people and sickened hundreds more. A Tennessee man faces charges in Kentucky for what he posted on Facebook. The Bell County Sheriff's Office says 36-year-old David Lunsford posted that he would like to crash a plane into Binghamton Baptist Church and Gateway Christian School in Middlesboro. He's been charged with terroristic threatening and harassing communications.
Anytime you make any threats or anything like that, whether you think it's your right to do so or not, we are going to take serious, and we are going to prosecute.
Lunsford is in jail on $25,000 cash bond. He pled not guilty this morning.